All right, so here's part two. I ran out of space on my SD card and got a little battery low thing going on up here. So anyway, and like I look at the crew right now and I'm like, there's a lot of people still here from '08. You know, I've got, Mike D and Julie, Joseph. Yeah, that was really quite an age, and getting out to Adepticon every year, putting up our little table, and so obviously I think about, well, what does this all mean? This is because I remember in it was 2005. I called up, like I had my little tiny office, and I had a whiteboard there, and it had like, the 12 projects we were working on or whatever. And by the way, right now it's like around 130, something like that. And we're really, by the way, we're working on getting it down to about, for this crew, about 60 to 80. And that would be like, we'd be, have a much faster response time. And I definitely want to get that back. And so anyway, okay, what was it? Yeah, obviously I got a lot of ideas going. Valhalla is something that has been, that has grown over the years. And Valhalla hasn't always been the greatest. Right now I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? We need to focus on what it is that we do best and not have distractions going on. And blue table painting, really, it's been a lot of good fortune. That's the word that I'm thinking of other words, but I don't want to say something that's like charged or, So anyway, and for those of you that don't know, we, from the Badger Hole, we moved, because one day, Sarah and I worked together in the Badger Hole for over a year. We were like 25 to 35 hours a week just in this basement, windowless office, just working together, making sure everything was running. And if you go look at the old videos, you can see that age. The old morning shows from like 08 and 09. Yeah, in fact, is it 2009 we started that? So that was really, so one day I was like, hey, what can I get you to make your life better here? She's like, a window. So what was funny is we went with our little crew, we went in my van to go get some ice cream, and our normal way of getting out of the parking lot was like blocked with cones. So I was like, oh, great. So I go around, and isn't that how life is? Like, if you just get out of like your normal routine, and that gets back to the beginning of the video, is like, if you're like blocked in, you're like, why, I can't get out, I don't see my way, it seems so dark. It's like, you know what, just go do something fun today. I'm giving you permission to go, just get out of your normal routine, do something, change into different clothes, go to visit somebody different, get out of what it is that you normally do. Said the guy that's down here doing the thing that he's done for 10 years, And so anyway, and then as I turned out the other exit of the parking lot, there's a huge sign saying for lease. I was like, oh, this is this office space that I was looking at that I thought was so awesome like a year ago, but it wasn't the right time. It's like, oh, now it is. So I called them up. And that, again, and those of you that are following us, that's the 300 North building where we were on the second floor, and you could see the mountains, and it was beautiful. And that was a good time. And again, I was always worried about things, and in the end, no real reason to be worried about it. And so then about a year in, the landlord came by. He's like, hey, I'm going to charge you a little more for rent, about $50 a month. I'm like, okay, well, and that's fine, but I probably will start looking around. It may be time for us to find a different space. And that's where we found the building that we're in now. And the building that we're in now was a complete and utter dump. I've actually, for a long time, I thought of doing like a composition of the horribleness, because I took a lot of video of it like in process. And so we renovated this, and this is the beautiful thing that you see before. It's 10, if you count the warehouse, the little storage thing, I guess you could call it a warehouse. It's about 1,500 square feet. It's about 10,000 square feet. And that's great. And we got a good rate on the rent. And it's like, but we haven't really, we've grown, but we haven't grown into this space. I mean, and if you look around, it's like we're kind of sprawled out, and it's sprawled downstairs too. And yeah, I want to see, my vision is I want to see the trade store, the web store, I don't know, I use different words for it, actually take up the whole downstairs. That would be awesome. That'd be really neat, because this is a good little operation going on. It's a good place to get rid of your old figures and get some new stuff too. And because they all got it. I had a friend back in Oregon I went out to, because I visit him whenever I'm out there, Reed. And so I go out to his garage, and he's got all his kits, that he never assembles or paints. You know who you are. He never assembles or paints them. And I pull one out, and I'm like, oh, there's another layer. So I'm like, there's 3 layers. I'm like, Reed, there must be $5,000 worth of stuff here. He's like, shh. I don't want my wife to hear. I don't want her to know how much I'm spending on this stuff. And he's like, that's why I have it stored in this compact space deep, so it doesn't seem like so much stuff. I'm like, keeping it on the down low. I'm like, so I know how much Games Workshop has been selling, and I know that stuff isn't assembled and painted, that it's just all bring me your huddled miniature masses, because this is a good thing going here. And if anything, I'd like to get more stuff up. Yeah, it could be a real machine, and I have the resources. So that's what I've done. I've put myself out there. Come on, it's okay. You can come on. We have a guest. I put myself out there. I've pushed my chips into the middle. BTP is look around. This behind this framing, it's literally, there's brick. There's 3 layers of brick here. We are the brick and mortar store. We are your friendly local game shop that's we're in it. We're here. We're every day getting some videos up, showing you something new, getting those projects done. And I got to tell you, it's not always a bed of roses. Recently I was thinking, I may conclude on this, but it is a ramble after all. By the way, I've been watching a lot of Red Dwarf. That's good. That's a good bedtime story right there. Go to sleep with that on. So imagine this. You're going to go into a gymnasium, and there's 100 desks there. And at each desk, there's a hobbyist, a war gamer. And in front of him or her, there is a collection of miniatures. Some of them is a whole army, could be a huge 10,000 point thing. Or it could just be down to a single RPG of that guy's character. Or it could be an Infinity or War Machine war band. And so there's all these different projects, but all of them are different, and they're very important to that person. So there's kind of an emotional charge to it. Now, in the other door, files in your crew, which are mostly 20-something artists. And go. You have 8 to 10 weeks to get every single project finished and organized and out the door. And I'm just that is the profession that I've chosen for myself. It's not always a bed of roses. What we do is very challenging because everything, it's always different, and it never stops. Once some things get completed, a new set of things come in that's different. It could be for a game that was just invented, like the Robotech thing. Boy, did we learn a lot about Robotech, because nobody here was a diehard fan. We with those decal sheets, they were insane. They just, all these little, which is great. It was a great product, don't get me wrong. And the creators of it, they had put their souls through a meat grinder to make this dream come true. You could just see how worn down they were from it. But, inside, they were excited. They were doing something that they loved, a childhood dream. And so that is what I'm doing. And yeah, Blue Table Painting is the brick and mortar, and we've stuck with it. Thousands, conservatively at least 6,000 projects. I have a more, it's a reasonable estimate of 8,000 projects. And we did them and filled our obligation to those clients, and a lot of different clients. So that's kind of the history of BTP, and I'm excited. I don't think this market is developed yet. I still think it's quite wild west, and in a way we're kind of like a fortress out on the borderlands, you know, that somehow we've managed to stay together this entire time. And so anyway, thanks for tuning in, and that was my ramble. And I'm also gonna show you some miniatures, and hopefully have a bat rep up soon. Like I said, I've just been so swamped doing basically just like, I'd say closing ranks, but you can't close ranks when it's one person standing there with a shield. But this coming week, I think the plague has passed through Chad's house, poor Chad's household. So anyway, on that note, thanks for tuning in, and here's to many more really good and exciting and adventure-filled years to come.